Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, I want to talk about how you have to be psychologically prepared if you are going to become the best in your field. Because a lot of times, if you're just naive, you're going to think, oh man, if I'm really, really good at something, people are going to respect me. And the sad truth is that humans are jealous creatures, right? This is kind of like our semi-secret that you kind of read about in books like the 48 Laws of Power. And so if you think, oh man, when I was a kid, they told me if I was like going to get straight A's and be the best and go to the best colleges, society's going to respect me. Totally not true. Society likes people who are like a little bit above mediocre and then congratulate them. But when you are like the best of the best, or when you truly excel and you make it look effortless, people are going to throw hate and shade at you. And the sad part is, it's not going to be from people on the outside. The people on the outside, people who are observing, they can clearly see you're the best. Usually, the hate comes from people who are in the same field as you, people who are close to you. There's a saying that you're not a prophet in your hometown. So let's say, like, if you're a doctor and you have this awesome way of treating people that's new and novel, you're going to have patients who are going to beg you, please treat me with this new and novel way, probably. And then you're going to get a lot of shade, probably, from other people in your same field. It's just the way the world works. And that's just kind of sad, but it's true, right? So in today's video, we're going to talk about Caitlin Clark. And here's the crazy thing. I hate sports, right? I was a varsity athlete in high school for like 1 year, and I was like, screw this. I don't want to do this anymore. I played sports for 2 years in high school. I really sucked my first year, and I really sucked my second year. But somehow I got a varsity letter in wrestling my second year, and I was like, man, I hate sports. And I don't like basketball at all. But the fact is that if I don't like basketball and have absolutely no interest, and I know your name and who you are, it must mean you're making a lot of buzz and making a lot of impact in the sport. So, I have no idea what the WNBA, what it's about, but when people are talking about, oh, Caitlin Clark, she's making a lot of, there's a lot of talk about her, and she is the real deal. If it turns out she's the real deal, then even people like me who have no interest in men or women's basketball are gonna like kind of be curious, like what's up with this, right? And so I was reading this article here about WNBA ticket sales up 93% as Caitlin Clark feels demand, right? So just one person, it seems like it was responsible for the increase in interest in the WNBA, which has historically been regarded as like not as good as the original counterpart, the NBA, right? And I don't even like basketball, but I've seen clips of her play. I was like, wow, this is really impressive. All those 3 pointers, and when I saw that, I automatically could kind of predict, just because of what human nature is that she's going to be snubbed by the people in her field, right? Like I could just totally tell, just because that's just how history works. And especially in 2024, maybe in the 90s, we had a little bit more respect for talent and respect for hard work, and people are at the top of the field. But man, in 2024, it's all about being in charge and putting, if once you're in charge, you got to keep the other people, you can't let them rise up, right? And there's that phrase from the 48 Laws of Power, never outshine the master. And so, if you're gonna climb up the walls of success, you kind of have to kind of be aware of that phenomenon, or the first law of the 48 Laws of Power. And if you've never read the book by Robert Greene, basically he gives an example about how the minister of France um, thought he was falling out of the king's favor back in like the 1700s. And then so he throws the most opulent party ever to celebrate the king. And then the king gets offended because it's like, dude, you're throwing the best party and kind of make me look bad by throwing the best party. And so he just kind of he finds a BS excuse to send him to jail. right? And so, why do I talk about this? Because right now, if you see this, oh, 93% is Caitlin Clark fuels demand. Well, she basically got snubbed from the USA Olympics basketball team, even though she's the best of the best, right? And the excuse was something about her fans being disappointed that she won't be able to play or have as much time in the court. And I don't know if it's in this article, but basically, and I know that she has a lot more class than I do because if I were like 22 and I knew I was the absolute best in my field, and people gave me this BS excuse that, oh, I'm not going to make it to represent the nation, um, I would just be incredibly angry. But she was just like, in the doing press rounds saying, hey, it's just something to look forward to, that it's just a sign that I got to practice more, right? But I know she knows she's talented. Okay, now the funny thing is, outsiders and observers know what's going on, right? So if you take a look at Caitlin Clark, I've been just doing some YouTube video searches. I mean, take a look at this, like child prodigy, number two NCAA legend, number three WNBA number one pick, number four slandered, number five attacked, right? And so, in a lot of sports media, there's been a lot of, I guess, sports drama, but it really seems like she's been snubbed. And let me just kind of take a look here. Uh, and I don't know again if this is super clickbait because I don't follow it too much, but videos about how real reason WNBA players hate Caitlin Clark, Caitlin Clark not going to Olympics, why are only women hating on Caitlin Clark, and then this is Charles Barkley. I think I was watching like a video on him saying that the WNBA is holding the WNBA back because basically you have someone who can elevate the sport to an extreme level, but you're not embracing her, right? And again, this is common in many fields where basically the old guard is saying no to new talent. They're very common. But again, outsiders can clearly see this, and then this, right? Why does the WNBA hate Caitlin Clark so much? Caitlin Clark hating on Caitlin Clark compilation. How long has she been in the WNBA? Like couldn't have been that long. But again, um, lots of videos about Caitlin Clark. Right here, the hate and jealousy toward Caitlin Clark will ruin the WNBA, and I, to be honest, if I were her age, I don't think I could have held as much restraint that she does uh, for the game, right? Like I would, if I knew I were the very best at her age, and and this is because I know myself, I was very emotional at the time, and because I was told as a young kid, hey, I got to be the best and not get the respect of peers, only to find out that everybody's jealous, right? It's going to happen to you when you are the best in your field, which is why you have to be psychologically prepared. Okay, and outsiders will always be more objective as to what's going on. They can clearly document and see, um, they can clearly see what is going on, right? So it's not like, if you are great, it's not, if people don't recognize you, it's not because they can't see it, it's because they refuse to see it, right? But again, if you're responsible for 93% of the ticket sales being fueling demand, and you're not representing Team USA for some BS reason, you know what's going on. I know what's going on. I have no interest in the WNBA, yet I can just craft a narrative video of what's going on. And again, human nature is human nature. People are petty and jealous. It's been going on since at least the 1700s in France, right? Based on the 48 laws of power. And this is why, talent alone is not going to carry you forward after a certain age, right? You have to understand how to navigate essentially people's insecurities. That's really what it is, right? And again, I've been told by many times. by outsiders, right? People who are not in the field that I am the best, but people in my field will try to tell me that I don't know what I'm doing. It's very common, right? So if you're in this position where it's like people need to recognize how great I am, therefore I'll make my no, that's never going to happen. You just keep showing how great you are, and the money will eventually come, right? So think about Caitlin Clark, right? You know how much money she makes in the WNBA and like her actual salary? I think it's like 70 something grand a year, right? So from her actually playing basketball, WNBA salary, Caitlin Clark, it's around $76,000 a year, which is kind of pathetic. But if she knows how to market herself right, and it seems like she does, which is through sport, what do you call it, endorsements and all that, then take a look at this, Caitlin Clark, what do you call Nike deal, 28 million. So you got to use the system for what it is. So don't expect like, again, she's much smarter than I am. So if you're going to play in the WNBA, you know, yes, it's pitiful that she gets a 74 grand salary and she can't make it a Team USA, but other people are watching her and seeing her value. If and they clearly see this, which is why Nike is going to spend reportedly 28 million over 8 years, right? So don't think just because your colleagues or whoever people in your same field are not going to recognize you doesn't mean people don't see your value. Usually people who are outside of what it is that you're directly doing see your value, but people within it kind of have myopic vision, and you get that petty jealousy and hate that most people kind of get blindsided by, right? Again, I've experienced this many many times over the years, and that's why it took me so long just to kind of get like a grip over my own emotions, because you know even people recently try to like convince me I don't know what I'm doing, and I'll be like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. And again, kind of like Caitlin Clark, yeah, what it is, sometimes I don't get the money where I think I would get it, but I get a whole lot of money from somewhere else unexpectedly. It's really weird, right? Like, you play basketball. Oh, I get this 74 grand salary, even though I'm the best, but I'm gonna get 28 million from Nike, right? That's just how it is. But so, okay, well, hopefully we learned something here about being the best and how you have to be psychologically prepared. And many times when you are the best, you're going to be told that you're not good enough for BS reasons, usually from petty jealousy. Okay, well, that's it, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll speak next time.